Hey there, traders. Today is the 14th of February, so happy Valentine's Day 2021. And this is our weekly market update. So we're going to talk about longer term time frames and longer term swings. And we're going to talk about areas of interest for potential longer term positions. So today we're going to start off with Bitcoin. So very important to note, we have a humongous order block around $40,000 all the way down to $32,000. So I'd love to see Bitcoin hold above $42,000 in the next week. So in other words, from today up until next week, Sunday. And if we can stay above $43,000 for Bitcoin, I do believe we'll see even another extension to the upside. We're starting to see some parabolic behavior here. Which will end off with a blow off top. So we have to be cautious around these levels and expect the market to put in a top at any moment. So that's why we're going to bring in some momentum oscillators to help us kind of navigate our way around the market and figure out when is probably going to be the top. So I want to take you to the Bitcoin chart here first. And if we zoom out, we can see that we are clearly in the critical zone. And we are currently pressing to the upside one more time. So throughout the history of Bitcoin, we can go and look at major tops in the market. We have seen a critical zone rejection from around 87, the level of 87. So let me just put it in there. And then we usually see our market cycle tops around this zone right here. So I'm going to color this with a very light blue. So let me just do that. And if I go to where we are right now, you will see that we actually dipped our toes into that market cycle high zone on the RSI. So anything that is happening right now is potentially building up for a humongous bearish divergence. So what that means is the RSI will then leave us with a lower high, while the price action will leave us with a higher high between those 2 points. And if this was to be the case, for it to be confirmed would mean at least a move back down to previous levels of structure. So if Bitcoin was to put in a top, the two levels to pay attention to start dollar cost averaging your way into a longer term position is going to be level number one, around 42,150. Level number two, remember this is for a longer term position. So you're going to buy a little bit around here, going to buy in between these levels. You're going to buy on a daily basis to have an average buy-in price more or less in the middle of the range. And the next level I'll be paying attention to is around 27,800. So let's call it 27,000. Yeah, let's call it 27,800. So those are the three price levels that I'm interested in and starting to dollar cost average. So if I was to buy from 42K all the way down to 28K, then that would give me quite a decent range to start buying on a daily basis. For my longer term portfolio, you've got to understand that Sundays are all about strategy and understanding longer term portfolio management. So for me, right now, for my longer term positions, I'm starting to get out of the market. I've already sold 25% of my longer term portfolio out of Bitcoin. And I've still got 75% of my longer term portfolio left. I believe that this does have short term upside potential still, perhaps back up to around the 90% overbought level. So if we get back up there, I will be selling 50% of what I still own for my longer term position. And if we start coming back down, I'll sell the rest. So the moment that we can expect a pullback much larger is when Bitcoin starts closing daily candles below 38,600. That's when we can expect it to come much lower. So for now, I'm going to buy around 42,150. If Bitcoin holds that level, I'll start adding to my position for my longer term buy to the upside. So that's one of the levels that and the strategies that I'm planning for the week ahead. Then again, like I said, on the daily chart, if Bitcoin closes a daily candle below this liquid zone, I'd expect Bitcoin to come back down to 32K, yeah, 32K as well as 28K. I think those levels will be filled fairly quickly if Bitcoin puts in a local top here. Shorter term time frames, I'm not going to jump too much into it, but it does look like Bitcoin wants to have one more push to the upside here before we see any kind of major rejections. But coming back to the higher term time frames, that rejection can push us back down to about 42K. Like I said, that's where I'll start getting into a longer term position. If I dollar cost average on a daily basis into this trade, then it will leave me with around about a $34,000 average buy-in price for Bitcoin. And I do believe that Bitcoin will hit way more than 100% return from 34K. So my upwards targets for Bitcoin is around about 100,000 if this move continues to the upside. So we'll keep an eye on that. So that's my play for the longer term positions for Bitcoin. Let's talk about Ethereum. No, let's talk about Bitcoin Cash first. So for Bitcoin Cash, the two levels that I'm paying attention to, these are significant levels. Actually, there are quite a few of them. The first one is around $603. The next one is around $537. Next one is 495, let's call it that. And the next one is 455. So that's around those levels that I'm looking to buy into a longer term position here for Bitcoin Cash. I do believe that if Bitcoin Cash makes it this low, we'll have an average buy-in price of around $520. And if that's the case, I do believe that 520 will quickly give us around about 100% return. I think most of the cryptos are entering a parabolic phase here. So perhaps we'll see one more good push to the downside before we see the super cycle, if we can call it that. So the super cycle will be the next major swing to the upside. Obviously, we have some extraordinary monthly candle closes up until this point. And the fact that we took out that spike high from January is an extremely bullish signal, given that that was on high volume. So as long as we take monthly spike highs out to the upside, we can expect a continuation with this parabolic phase. So for me, I think Bitcoin probably would stand a chance to continue for another couple of months to the upside, easily all the way back up to the next round number, which is 100K. We've already kind of reached 50K, which was my personal target to start selling 25% of my longer term portfolio. And like I said, on the RSI, on the weekly chart, it looks like we still have room to the upside. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash, those are my levels, 4 of them. I do believe that if Bitcoin Cash starts pulling back down here, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity to buy into a longer term position. One thing I do want to say though, Bitcoin Cash could make it as low as $413. If it does make it that low, we'll be able to understand what the market's idea is as soon as it starts moving lower. And we'll be able to call when to really get aggressive with your buying. So if, for example, if we see the market starting to turn against us and we see that we can expect a deeper retracement, we can then start opening up short positions to hedge our longer term positions as we start dollar cost averaging. So I'll explain a little bit more around that on tomorrow morning's market update. So let's continue. Bitcoin Cash, those are the levels. Ethereum is an interesting one. I think Ethereum could probably most likely come back down to $940. This is one of the levels that I am most definitely interested in buying. We have this little order block, this weekly order block, so I'm going to pay attention to that. These are significant levels throughout the history of Ethereum. And then, of course, we have the $774 level. So again, I'd be looking to dollar cost average into these positions, giving me around about an average buy-in price of 1,050, let's call it that. And I do believe that Ethereum has way more fuel and way more room to move to the upside. We haven't even spoken about the momentum oscillators for Bitcoin Cash here. Bitcoin Cash does look like it wants to turn for another decent move to the upside, looking at these momentum oscillators. So I think any kind of pullback would be seen as an opportunity. Ethereum looking really powerful, looking really strong, but very toppy. I would be looking for this to pull back anytime soon now. And given the fact that Ethereum is the leading indicator for this bull rally, I think this will be the first crypto to put in its longer term, medium term top. And then after the top has been put in, we'll probably see some sideways action, some consolidation for a couple of months. Um, just like we've seen throughout the history, this was a couple of months, this was a couple of months. Combined, these were a couple of years of consolidation before we started seeing a weekly trend again. So it's very interesting to see and be a part of the crypto space at this time. Chainlink, definitely going to be an aggressive buyer if Chainlink comes back down to $20. This has been a level I've been speaking about in my market updates in the mornings. $16 would be the next level I'd be interested in. $8, well, let's call it $9, and $7.33, giving me an average buying price of around about $12. Not to say that it's going to go that low, so most probably just fill 2 orders, but those are orders that I'm going to leave in my longer term portfolio to get filled in case we do see a major correction in the market. So remember, on all of these will all be pending orders waiting to be filled. And as they lie there, it will determine how much of them will get filled, how far the price pulls back, and that will build up my longer term portfolio for the next 6 to 12 months. Okay, Ethereum, those are the levels. Chainlink, like I said, those are most likely the levels. I do like this $20 level. I do think it has significance, and I do hope we make it that low again. But if we don't, we'll just continue to map this chart as it moves up, and we'll be able to reassess as we move. More than likely going to see some pullbacks in the crypto market this week. So Ripple looking fairly strong here, but most likely going to go into some consolidation here. Ripple not really looking like the picture of health and wellness, even though it is looking strong, decent volume. I cannot tell you where it's going to go from here. Unless we see a weekly candle close above 60 cents, I believe Ripple is more than likely going to come back down to 32 cents. So longer term positions is way down here for Ripple, unfortunately. So, well, fortunately, I mean, I don't mind waiting that long if it does make it down there. And to be able to get a more or less of an average buying price of 25 cents, I think for a longer term portfolio, that would be a good position. And to manage your risk from there would be fairly good. I think ultimately Ripple will make its way back up to about $2.80, all the way back up to $3.34. So that's a level that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. Let me just change this color because this is the weekly chart. There we go. So Ripple definitely, if it closes a weekly candle above this level, then I would actually be very bullish on Ripple. In fact, if Ripple can close a weekly candle above $87, there's nothing holding Ripple back from going to $2.80. But we'll pay close attention to it, and these are the levels I'd like to dollar cost average into for my longer term portfolio. So Litecoin, Another one of those coins that I do like quite a bit, looking at the longer term market structure here. So these are the levels I'll be paying attention to for Litecoin. If we can get filled that low, I would love that. So the levels are 187.23, 172.09, 137.43, and 112.89. So those are the Litecoin levels. I would love for Litecoin to pull back to around 137. I think that's going to be a very good time to get aggressive with your buying if we do make it that low. But this is all looking good. We've got some decent volume coming through here. So any kind of pullback into 188, don't be hesitant to buy any positions there for your longer term portfolio. That's why we've got our orders stacked from there. Because I do think that if Litecoin decides to go back to its all-time high, it's probably going to come back down and fill these orders really quick so that it can continue higher. So uni is there's only kind of two levels here that I want to pay attention to for uni. Any kind of pullback into this level is going to be quite nice. I would like to buy around $15, but the next level is going to be around $7.16. So again, remember this is a longer term portfolio. So I'm not too worried about drawdowns and stop losses with this one. For me, it's about accumulation and longer term holding, right? So if this comes back down to $15, I'm going to be buying some. And on a daily basis, as it goes lower, I'll be dollar cost averaging all the way down to $7 and let's call it 20 cents. Neo hitting our very longer term position, excuse me, resistance here. So any kind of pullback for Neo here back down to around $25 would be quite a nice buy. Then we've got around $22.40. And if Neo makes it that low, I would love to buy at $17.34. So those are the four levels for Neo. I doubt we'll make it that low, but we'll keep reassessing and we'll trade this on the shorter term time frames if we need to. There is plenty of price action data to go off of, and we'll continue to trade whatever we need to trade. But for longer term portfolio management, these are the positions I'm interested in. BNB, also what a powerhouse this coin has been. Any kind of pullback here for BNB back down to this previous order block, around $46 would be a significant buy. This is definitely overextended and looking to make a correction here. I think this will most likely be the next blow off top. We've got some major bearish divergence on our weekly stochastics here while the price is still making higher highs. I think this is definitely going to be a blow off top. So we'll see some massive volume spikes. That's already being seen right now. And then we'll see some heavy profit taking probably going into this week. This is a very healthy candle close for the week, but I think that's going to be met with some major resistance from the bear side. So definitely some profit taking going to happen here. How low would it go? We'll probably stick to the lower term time frames and see if we can catch some shorts to the downside on all of these coins if we see a correction coming. But levels, again, $47, let's call it that. The next one is $38, and the next one would be $31. Like I said, I expect a blow off top, so this could be quite a decent correction. And if we can make it that low, $24 would be a decent buy as well. Now, I know you might think we won't make it that low, but if history repeats itself, you can see quite aggressive reactions as soon as we see a blow off top. And we usually see these major corrections happen after a blow off top. So for it to make it that low again, just look at the pattern repeating itself 1, 2, 3 times. So just remember anything's possible in cryptocurrency land. So I'm going to stack those orders down there, giving me around about an average buy-in price of $33 per BNB for my longer term portfolio. And the last one we're going to talk about Monero. So one of the levels here, again, that I'm paying attention to is around 190. The next level would be around 172. The next level is going to be around 147. And then we're going to look at 131. Those are the levels for Monero. This is also looking pretty healthy here, I have to admit. But again, massive volume spikes, bearish divergence. Do expect a blow off top very soon for most cryptos. I think everything's in for a correction. Like I said, we're seeing major bearish divergences print on larger time frames. Usually when we see that, we see a 30 to 40% correction in Bitcoin, and we usually see a little bit more on some of the altcoins and a little bit less on some of the altcoins. Needless to say, if we do see a correction, it's going to be an opportunity to stack up on our longer term positions. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow morning for your market update. Enjoy for now. Cheers.